Why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? This is something that I've been thinking about a lot these days because a lot of my current friends are actually friends that I used to have decades ago when I went to university and high school. So not a lot of new friends have entered my friend circle, which I think is an issue. And this is something that I've been working on really intensively in the last year or so. And I think I have a couple of solutions as to how we can make more friends as an adult. So in this video, I'll be doing a couple of things. I'll be explaining why I think it's so hard to make friends as an adult, and also look at what we did as children to learn a bit from that. I'll also break down the friendship making process. So taking a random stranger on the streets and slowly maybe evolving them all the way up to a close or best friend. And the last thing that I'll be doing is that I'll be sharing 3 core concepts that I think are vital to make the friendship making process a bit easier. Let's begin. So why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? I think we gotta focus also on why it's so easy to make friends as a kid. So back in the day when you used to play at a playground at school, or you did some extracurricular activities after school, guess what? It was so easy to make friends. You like kicking a soccer ball, I like kicking a soccer ball. Just like that, a friendship was in bloom. Now, can you achieve that as an adult? Actually, yeah, you can. And here is an example of that.
Let's talk about what you guys personally geek out about. Henry, let's start with you.
The easy answer is Warhammer 40,000. That is my jam. I have been into it since I was 10.
What's your army at the moment?
Custodes. Yeah.
I'm going Necrons next year.
Wait,
Necrons?
oh.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Were you
Shall we-
into-
Yes.
What you just witnessed was a friendship blooming between 2 adults over the shared passion of Warhammer 40k. It's really that simple sometimes. Now, going back to why it's so easy to make friends as a kid, I think there's a lot of time that we spend together every single day from Monday to Friday that you are with your peers, you are interacting with like-minded people, and you're constantly seeing the same faces over and over again. We have a certain amount of growth mindset and innocence and curiosity, all of these qualities that really make us authentic, which then makes people gravitate to you, and that's where friendships flourish. Now let's understand why it's so hard to make friendships as an adult. So the first thing is that we have adult responsibilities. We have bills to pay, we need to cook dinner, we need to clean the house, we need to maybe take a dog for a walk, we need to do all of these different things, and our time suddenly also becomes really precious because of that. We don't have suddenly hours to spend with our peers to then mingle and see if friendships can blossom. Instead, we have our own mini bubbles and lives to worry about because of those adult responsibilities. The last thing that I want to mention is that as adults, many of us are kind of just boring. So whenever, for example, you're asked, how was your week? You might just say something like, oh yeah, nothing special, did some dishes, did some cleaning, just tying up loose ends and bought some groceries and stuff. This type of boring conversation really just stops a friendship right in its tracks because the conversation starts and stops there. You don't need to go crazy out of your way to do things like skydiving or like extreme sports or anything, but you at least need to be a bit curious and do things that interest you. So for example, recently I signed up for a speed puzzling competition with a friend. That's gonna be really fun. I've never done speed puzzling before, but I think it will be hilarious. And another thing that I recently got was a bonsai tree. So this is another small thing that I got that I am really passionate about right now that I can talk about. So I am really curious as to what I need to do to maintain it. So I'm trying to water it every 2 to 3 days or so. And I'm really trying to position it around in my apartment to see where the best place it is that it will thrive. So giving it enough sunlight, but not too much sunlight. And small things like this are talking points that you can talk and share and maybe light up someone else's day with. So yeah, my bonsai tree. Check it out. Now that we understand why it's so hard to make friends as an adult and why kids have it so easy, let's understand the friendship making process. Because I think it's vital to understand where you are with someone else to just understand how you can maybe evolve that friendship further. So, to help with this, we have the friendship pyramid. And the friendship pyramid just showcases how you can slowly move someone throughout the pyramid to take them from a friendly interaction all the way up to a best friend. So let's go segment by segment and just quickly run through it. So at the bottom, we have a friendly interaction. This is you kind of just walking around and maybe giving people a head nod or interacting with the cashier when you're buying groceries, saying hello, thank you, you know, the basic greetings and stuff. And this is just interactions that make the world go round. If you want to practice this a bit, then take a walk outside, look up, and give people a head nod and smile. Practice basic interactions that just make you into a bit more of a pleasant person to be around. In the next level, we have acquaintances. And this is when you start seeing the same person over and over again, which makes it into an acquaintance. This could be a coworker. This could be, for example, your friendly barista that recognizes you and you recognize them. And this basic interaction that is consistent makes someone into an acquaintance. And the next segment over here is possible friendship. And this is when you want to maybe evolve a acquaintance into a friendship scenario. So the first thing that you actually need to do is check to see if both of you even want to be friends with each other, if there is an interest on both sides. And how do you do that? Well, you just interact with each other. You ask questions. You are curious about the other person. You make sure you ask basic things like their name, what they're interested in, what their passions are, why they're doing specific things in life, and ask them random questions like if they've ever had a bonsai tree, or if they are even interested in speed puzzling, and if they are, maybe they want to join you, you know? There's a lot of things that you can do to make a conversation interesting so that you can suss out and see if a deeper friendship might be able to blossom. So once you know that they are friendship material and they want to be friends with you, this is when you are in the evolving friendship stage. And this is where you actually start overlapping a lot of different experiences because you are trying to see how many interests you have together with them that you might have overlapping so that you can start doing things together. Because a friendship really evolves through experiences that you have together. And what you're really sussing out is to see if you have any overlapping interests and hobbies. So for example, I love video games, climbing, taking walks, photography, learning quirky things like juggling or hydroponics, or like learning about oil pulling and my own oral health. All of these things could be passions and interests that they are also interested in. And what you need to do is you just need to talk to them and interact with them and see if you have any overlapping passions that you can then share together with them. And then when you start sharing those experiences with them, that is the foundation of a friendship, those experiences that you have together. Now in the next segment over here, we have a close friend. And a close friend is someone that you already have a lot of experiences with. Maybe they even invite you to their birthday parties, or you go cottaging together, or you just are in the same friend circles and you interact and talk about life all the time. The key thing over here is that you really trust them. You respect them as a friend, and you value their time and the time together with them. So you're doing all of these things just like a evolving friendship, but you've already done it for quite some time now, making that foundation of a friendship pretty solid because you have a lot of different experiences together with them. And at the pinnacle of the pyramid, we have a best friend. So what defines a best friend and what makes it different compared to a close friend? I think there are a lot of small nuances that really make a best friend. It's things like matching energies, that you can always vibe off of each other and you have a great time together. You know, whenever you two are together in a room, there's jokes happening all the time and you're laughing and you're having a blast and time just flies when you're with this person. And the last thing that I think is the cherry on top of the friendship pyramid that really makes a best friend is inside jokes. So, you know, all of those experiences that you've had together over the years or decades, suddenly you can start referring to a couple of experiences way back in the day and bring it to the current day. And only you and your best friend will know that reference and really have a blast around that. So having inside jokes is, in my opinion, one of the core aspects that really define a best friend versus a close friend. So now that you understand the friendship pyramid, you can kind of like place yourself and a person that you're trying to befriend somewhere along this pyramid over here to understand how you can maybe evolve that friendship further, or perhaps you even want to just keep that friendship right where it's at and just maintain it there. That's totally cool too, because not everyone can be at the top of the pyramid. That would make it a pyramid. Now, I've boiled it down to 3 different things that you should be focusing on to make this friendship making process a bit easier as an adult. And the first thing is to always work on yourself and your passions. So what does working on yourself mean? It means that you should be eating healthy, you should be staying fit, you should be cleanly, you should cut your hair and groom yourself and just be presentable, because that first impression and really just being around you is something that a friend needs to do. And if you aren't kept properly and if you haven't maintained yourself, no one really wants to stay around you or be around you. So make sure to work on yourself first. And what does working on your passions mean? This means that you need to be curious about something. You need to be interested in doing something in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you are passionate about bonsai trees or speed puzzling or Magic the Gathering cards or photography or taking walks or dogs or like whatever your passion is, be eager to share that passion with other people and keep growing and learning about that passion. And the second thing that you can do is to leave your solo bubble and get social. So a friendship, it takes 2. It's you and someone else. If you don't leave your apartment, if you don't put yourself out there so that you start meeting people, you'll never interact with other people and you won't make any friends. One thing that I think is vital to mention here is that it's important to pick the right places to be social. And how do you pick those places? Well, you go back to those passions that you have and you try to find social activities around those passions. There's a lot of small activities that I could find around town that are all about bonsai trees. And I'm confident that every passion out there has these small communities that really are so eager to share and kind of like show their passions. And you need to find those groups and join them and share your own passion for said thing, like bonsais. The last thing is to not psych yourself out. I know it's scary to make friends. I know as an adult, you're kind of timid right now and you don't want to put yourself out there and you don't want to deal with rejection, and all of these things are just small thoughts that you have in your head that kind of like make you inactive. It makes you not take that first step. But I'm telling you right now, no one cares. What you need to do is you need to take that first step and just say, hey, that's a really cool bonsai that you have over there. What varietal is it? Just like that, you've started a conversation about bonsais, and you can maybe build that conversation further to see if, yet again, there's chemistry between you two. This can be done with any activity. So make sure that you learn a basic kind of like conversation opener so that you can easily start talking to people. And the easiest thing is to really just be curious about whatever they're doing. Oh, that's a really cool bracelet that you're making over there. What stones are in it? Just like that. If you're interested in jewelry and you are at a jewelry workshop, that is an easy way to start a conversation with another jewelry person. And that's it for this video. I hope you've learned something about making friends as an adult, because at the end of the day, it really isn't that complicated. You just need to have a common interest, and suddenly friendships will start blossoming everywhere if you just take that first step and make sure to not be scared to share a bit of yourself with someone else. And if you have any great friendship making tips, well, comment those down below. I would love to hear them. That's it for this video. My name is Paul. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. That's good.